Hello fellow foodie fans, a very warm welcome to the show. Following on from my previous video where I was pretending to be an airline pilot, it's time to get back to some regular cooking content. So it's time to make my life a little bit easier this afternoon and bring out this bag of tricks, the Thermomix TM6. Spring is soon upon us and it'll soon be time to ditch the winter warmers. So while we're just in the cold months, it's time to cook one of my favourites, and that is a lovely lasagna. This is the first time I've cooked this recipe in a Thermomix before, so I'm interested to see how it turns out. So of course at the end of the video we'll be going for the old classic taste test. Do hang around until the end of the video because I've got some exciting news. So without further ado, let's not waste any time and start cooking. Right, let's get cooking. I'm always excited to film Thermomix content. So firstly, let's add between 1 and 200 grams of parmesan cheese. That is a lot of cheese. I pre-weighed all the ingredients for the purpose of the video, so it flows a little bit better. I'm going to go for about 75-80 grams, because again, that is a lot of cheese. Lid on. Next, insert measuring cup. Speed select to 10, 15 seconds. It's going to get noisy. All done. Next, transfer to a bowl and set aside. It really does do a good job of grating parmesan in your pot. Waste not, want not. Next, rinse mixing bowl. Mixing bowl rinsed. Add 200 grams of mixed vegetables, celery stalk, carrots, onions cut into pieces. Here that amounts to roughly about 1 celery stalk, 1 onion and 1 large carrot. Have you got a Thermomix TM6 or are you thinking of buying a Thermomix TM6? If you've got one, let me know in the comments what your favourite recipe is, because I'd love to give it a try. Next, 40 grams of extra virgin olive oil. And of course feel free just to pop on and say hi. I love reading all of your comments and posting replies. Interesting, this is extra virgin olive oil. Next, insert measuring cup and away we go. A quick chopping cycle, 5 seconds, speed 7. Next, place simmering basket instead of measuring cup on mixing bowl lid. So now I'm figuring we're going to be cooking these vegetables off. Next, 5 minutes, speed select to 2. I'll see you in 5 minutes. Okay, here we are. Next, 800 grams of mixed meat, half pork, half beef. Just being careful removing the simmering basket. A wee tip here, following my cook's instinct, this recipe does ask for a bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to hit the meat with it now, so it's got a better chance to mix. A bit of salt on the pork and the beef. I think sometimes when it's in the thermie, it doesn't get a full chance to mix through, so I always hit this seasoning on the meat a little bit earlier. It's up to you though, you don't have to do this. The kitchen's already starting to smell pretty good. Now I'm adding 500 grams of each, so that's what it came in. I don't really want to waste any. Don't think it'll do any harm. Stir using spatula to break up if necessary. In fairness, I can't remember where my spatula is, so let's just use anything I can grab hold of.
A few moments later.
Next, place simmering basket instead of measuring cup, so more cooking. Speed select to 1, 8 minutes, so I'll see you then. The sauteing is complete. Next, add 100 grams of dry white wine. I don't really suppose it matters what wine you use. I'm using a Sauvignon Blanc. If you don't want to add the alcohol, just put a little bit of water in or some chicken stock, that'd be absolutely fine. Bear in mind the alcohol will cook out. Next, simmering basket again, and away we go. Varoma, 5 minutes. All done. Next, 300 grams of tomatoes canned. Just again be careful when you remove this simmering basket. So pretty much this is just going to be a can, give or take. Let's have a quick look what's going on in the bowl. So the mince is slightly browned. Not as brown as you get it on the stovetop, but it doesn't look too bad. So let's see how much is in this can, just out of interest. Just over 300, not bad at all. I'm tempted to add a little pinch of sugar here, but I'm just going to follow the recipe. Perfect. We've already put the salt in, we've already done that earlier. And black pepper. Just probably look a little bit of salt on these tomatoes. And just a turn of black pepper. And I'm just going to give this a wee stir and get it halfway across my kitchen. Yeah, the mince is quite firm, still quite solid. So my tip now at this point would just get something a little bit more sturdy, something wooden, or your normal spatula, and just break this mince up because this hasn't really particularly broke up well. So I've literally spent about 5 minutes breaking this mince up, so do be aware when you're at the adding tomato stage, just check your mince just to see how it is. It's going to break up a little bit more during the cooking process, but at least give it a helping hand, so do check. Okay. Next, place simmering basket. So we'll do a little bit more cooking, 20 minutes, speed selector. Away we go. See you soon. Okay, the cooking is complete and it says transfer to a bowl and set aside. Just going back to the pork and beef mince, try not to use mince that's lean. Try and get a little bit of fat content in it if you can. It's always going to taste that a little bit better, in my opinion. Okay, we'll set that aside. While we do the rest of the cooking, I will just check this for seasoning and might have to adjust it if necessary, depending on your palate. Right, onto the bechamel. It doesn't say anything about cleaning the bowl at this point, but I don't want to make a bechamel sauce in a dirty bowl, so I've just put mine on a short cleaning cycle. And let's now add the 1,000 grams of milk. I'm going to try and do this left-handed to make a mess of everything. Try and use full-fat milk if you're making a bechamel. Certainly not skimmed, it won't work. Now, this is what's going to put your cooking on to the next level, by not using a shop-bought bechamel sauce. I've never made one in a Thermomix before, so I'm quite interested to see how it turns out. Next, again, everything is pre-weighed, just so the video flows out a little bit easier, but as we all know, the Thermie has its own built-in scales. Again, if you're thinking of buying a Thermomix and you've arrived here, any questions or any burning questions you may have, feel free to ask in the comments. I'm always happy to help. 100 grams of flour, plain flour. It's a little bit under that, but we'll wing it. Next, 1 teaspoon of salt. There we go. And 1 to 2 pinches of ground nutmeg. I haven't got any pre-ground nutmeg, so I'm going to do my own. Can't beat a little bit of nutmeg, but again, you can have too much of a good thing, so don't overdo it, so be a little bit careful. Will do. Next, place simmering basket. Again, this is where the Thermomix just comes into its own when you're cooking something like this, or a hollandaise sauce or similar. You can just let it get on with it. You haven't got to worry about it overheating and your sauce splitting. So 12 minutes, speed 3. See you soon. Okay, all done. Remove that. Preheat oven to 180, I've already done that. Lightly grease a baking dish, I've already done that. Okay, let's follow the instructions and get building. This is the fun part. Just before we assemble our lasagna, I just want to show you this bechamel. It's turned out really well, good consistency. I've had a little taste, it tastes really good. I don't really think you could get much of a better result on the hob if you made it yourself. Perfect. First, we'll make a thin layer of sauce. The base. What I find the most difficult about making lasagna is making sure you've got enough for your 3 layers. So that should be fine. A wee bit more. I'll just spread that out. So that is layer 1. Now we'll go ahead and put 1 layer of dried lasagna sheets. Cook's instinct, I normally blanch these off for a few minutes, but on this occasion I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put them straight in and see how it turns out. I do apologise, good people, the joys of being an amateur YouTuber. As I was assembling my lasagna, my hardware decided to fail and stop recording. So to build your beautiful lasagna, just follow the instructions that show on the Thermomix. Being sure to finish your lasagna with a beautiful coating of that bechamel sauce and a nice little sprinkling of remaining parmesan cheese. Now all that's left to do is bake in your preheated oven for between 30 and 40 minutes until lovely and golden brown. And here's the end result, and I must say it looks and smells fantastic. So let's grab ourselves a nice healthy big slice, bang it on a plate, and it's time for the taste test. Right, here we go. This has been resting for about 5 minutes so I don't burn myself. So let's give this a go. Texture looks okay. All in all, that is a pretty decent lasagna. Is it as good or better as the one that I cook on the hob? It's not far away, but I'll tell you what, it's a sight lot easier, much easier to cook in the Thermomix. The seasoning's not a nice little bit of balance. Maybe what I think I'd do next time is just add a little bit of tomato puree, just to make it, just give it like a bit more of a deeper flavour. But all in all, that is very, very respectable. Thank you so much for watching the video. I do hope you enjoyed it. What is the exciting news, you may be wondering? It's this. I've finally got my hands on the all-elusive Thermomix cutter. It's finally available for UK users and I'll be filming a full review. Do keep your eye out for that in the coming weeks. If you haven't already, do consider clicking that subscribe button. Also click the bell so you'll be notified each and every time I upload new content. So for now, take care, keep safe, and I'll see you next time.